Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I wanted to show you how I made this unicorn cake memory foam squishy. Now this was actually requested a bunch of times to actually make a paper squishy version, but as I've seen quite a lot of these around, I wanted to make a memory foam version from this, so I hope that's okay. So to start off with, I took a piece of memory foam and I've now come to the conclusion that my memory foam isn't memory foam, that the seller on eBay sent me the wrong one and they sent me density foam. So this is what I'm using at the moment just to use it up. I do actually have some more memory foam on the way. So yeah, if you're wondering why this doesn't really end up being slow rising, it's because I was sent the wrong foam and didn't kind of realise until a lot of comments came in that this wasn't memory foam at all. I mean, I knew something wasn't right with it, with the slow risingness of it, but yeah. Anyway, you want to cut this shape into a cylinder-like shape, like I said, and just round this out and make it nice and smooth. I didn't actually make mine as smooth as I would have liked, so you want to really keep going back and forth on this stage to get the smoothest possible shape that you can. This smoothing out took me about 5, maybe 6 minutes to kind of smooth this out. Obviously I didn't get as smooth as an effect I wanted, but it was okay and it does the job. So I also just smoothed out the edges along the top, so I was left with a nice rounded edge so that it looked a little bit more kawaii, if that makes any sense. Once I had the base shape, I then moved on with an offcut piece and I just made the unicorn's horn. I just cut this into a rough triangle, elongated it by making long snips with my scissors and just smoothed it out as I went along. Taking another piece of offcut foam, I then went ahead and made the little ears for the unicorn, and I kind of just smoothed these out and made them a little bit rounder to soften them up for the unicorn's head. Taking some hot glue, I just hot glued on the bottom of all 3 pieces and just hot glued this to the top of the squishy. Now in previous memory foam squishies where I've used hot glue, a lot of people have asked me whether hot glue or stuff would leave a hard mark, and sometimes it does. If you use too much hot glue, it will create a really stiff, hard bit in it. When using bigger squishies like this, it doesn't really show that much, but you just want to use as little hot glue as possible, or if you can avoid it, use something that's a flexible glue like E6000 or a latex glue, something like that. Whilst the hot glue is drying, I then went ahead and took some more thin pieces of offcut foam and I just cut these into little circles. I cut about 15 of these in total, all different shapes and sizes, and this was just to layer on to like make the unicorn's mane. So once I had loads of circles, I then put on about 2 to 3 little drips of hot glue, not very much at all, and just layered this up around the kind of main area of where the flower maney bit for the unicorn I wanted it to be. Once the hot glue had fully set, I then took some of the tulip gold metallic paint in the metallics range and I just painted the unicorn horn with this. Now I did this step first before painting anything else because I knew this needed quite a few layers to get the really golden metallic kind of unicorny horn that I wanted. Well, I actually ended up only doing 2 layers of this, but yeah, you can see what I mean. Like, to get it more metallic you need a couple of layers. So I started with this first and just painted the first layer and then painted the second layer once it was dry. Once the second layer of the unicorn horn was drying, I then moved on with some pastel colours and just painted some of the circles in these colours. So I started off with this tulip slick paint in the colour lilac and just painted a few in that colour, and then I moved on with the same branded paint and the same range with the colour light pink and just painted a few more. And then what I did to make the blue ones, because I didn't already have the paint in the exact colour I wanted, I used blue and white in the tulip puffy paint, and then I mixed in a little bit of the lime slick paint and I just kind of mixed this up to make a blue and painted it on the blue ones. As you can see here, this is me mixing up those colours, so that's the blue and the white there. And then I did actually go in and add a little bit of the lime slick paint to make the colour that I wanted. So it was more like a minty kind of bluey colour rather than just like light blue, if that makes any sense. Just to make it a little bit more minty. Once all the circles on the head were dry, I then went in with the same gold metallic slick paint and I just painted on the ears for the unicorn. Now a few unicorns I've seen have a pink inner ear, but I kind of like the look of the gold, so I wanted to add a little bit more gold on it and I figured I would do that on the ears. I also went ahead with this paint and just did a swirl around on the unicorn horn to give it a bit more of a unicorn horn texture of what I imagine a unicorn horn to be like, with just a swirl all the way around. Once the fabric paint and stuff had dried, I then moved on with a tulip white puffy paint and just ended up painting all of the front and the back bit and the two ears. Now I didn't actually get the white paint in between the flowers because I don't know, I just couldn't really see it, and to be honest, my memory foam or density foam was already quite white on those areas anyway, so I just kind of left that bit plain. I did, however, paint all of the front and all of the back in the white puffy paint. Also taking some white puffy paint on a little bit of paper, I then took my dotting tool and just kind of dipped it in this white paint and kind of made swirls on every single one of those rough circle shapes that I attached to the top. Now I did this to kind of give it a bit more detail, make it a bit more like flower kind of design. I mean, it doesn't really look like flowers, they kind of look like circles with swirls in, but I felt like it was a good little addition, so I did it to every single one of them, and it did take quite some time. To be honest, I probably spent longer doing this than I did painting the rest of it white. Like, honestly, this took so long. The time lapse here is about, I think, ×8 maybe, and honestly, I was there for a good 12 to 15 minutes doing these little swirls, and by the end of it I totally regretted it because it just took so long. But anyway, it looks cute when it's done, so I'm kind of grateful I did do it. So once all the paint had dried, I then moved on with some black puffy paint on a piece of paper again, and with my dotting tool I just painted out the face. Now here you can really see the imperfections on my foam of this little bit. I did not do a very smooth job. Like, honestly, I think I would have been better off putting the face on the back side of it, because that side was much smoother and this bit here just seemed to have a chunk missing out of it underneath the eye. And I don't know why that happened. I feel like maybe I didn't see it before putting the white paint on. So like the white paint really brought out the imperfections. But anyway, I just went ahead and painted on two little eyes onto the unicorn cake. So once the eyes were fully dry, my squishy was then complete. Now, even though this squishy is not perfect, I super love how it turned out. And to be honest, I'm probably just going to put it up on my shelf and just have it as a decoration. I mean, I'm really happy that I did it. I'm super happy for all the requests for it. Now, I am a bit super sad that I didn't do a paper one like requested. But to be honest, I've seen a lot of unicorn paper squishies around and I didn't want to copy anyone. So I figured I would do a memory foam one to make it a little bit different. Now, if you have any requests, please leave them in the comments below. If you have any questions or anything like that regarding this video, please leave them in the comments below also, as I do try and answer all comments. And yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe while you're down there, as I love seeing new people around, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye!